Hello, happy Olympics.
It's the Olympics Day. It's here. It's finally here after a long wait.
Yep. I've definitely shed a few happy tears today at the idea of the Olympics being on. I
Yeah.
honestly could not multiple points through the opening ceremony. I was just like, oh my god, it's here. I wasn't ready for this.
Yeah, I've not. Well, yeah. I guess for me, when the sport starts on the first day is when I'm kind of really into it. I stayed up and watched a bit of the rowing last night. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, the opening ceremony is just a nice thing that kind of whets the appetite
Yeah.
a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, I was quite impressed with the opening ceremony. I liked the way that it was sort of very much low. It was they kept it low key for the most part, which was quite fitting in with that. Of course, in Japan, it's a bit there are some uncomfortable sentiments regarding hosting the Olympics at the moment, and also just the way that Olympic opening ceremonies have been getting tend to get bigger and bigger. It was really nice to have this sort of quite small, intimate one, especially when there
Yeah.
was no big crowd to in the stadium at least to amaze.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there were still a fair few athletes there that made it a little bit more. I guess like it felt like there was a bit of a crowd there.
Yeah,
But no, it was yeah. On the whole, it was quite nice. It's quite nice to have something a little bit more scaled back.
it does have a very strange feeling thinking, oh yeah, there are only probably not even half of the athletes that we'd normally see there at the opening ceremony, and it's like, oh yeah, this is still the Olympics, just in a different way.
Yeah, not the Olympics as we know it.
Yeah, there was some. I mean, I absolutely loved the woodworking of the Olympic rings. I thought that was a nice way to do that. And then I think the moment that probably will be on the front pages will be the drone making the globe. That was absolutely stunning.
So it started because I don't know how I missed that. Maybe I must have gone to toilet at the worst time. But I saw there was they did the globe. No, did the logo then the globe, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I saw the best thing I like the pictograms. That was my favorite bit.
yeah. I like the sort of sense of humor with that. It was,
Like, yeah, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do this.
it went slightly wrong at one point, but they recovered.
It's fine. That's what happens. Yeah, they must have rehearsed it an awful lot though.
Yeah. I do wonder how much they were able to see in those sort of helmet things as well, given that
Yeah.
that was very much about your spatial awareness.
But yeah, I guess the Parade of Nations was always good anyway because it's just nice to hear the facts about the countries and just to see a few of the people. I mean, they had nice to have two flag bearers this year for each nation.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, there were some big names actually were carrying some of the flags, which I wasn't expecting.
yeah. We had Queen Katerina Bargwen carrying Colombia's flag. A delight to see her, even if I'm not expecting much from her in these Olympics.
Yeah, I guess for certain countries, you just think, oh, who's the big name from that country, and then like, oh, it's them carrying the flag, like British Virgin Islands. Oh, it's Karen McMaster. There he is. That's what I love about it. It's like everyone gets their moment to carry the flag. Those kind of small nations to get their little moment, yeah, there were some interesting choices. I thought there was some good selections for the like Louisa Geiger for Albania,
Could
and a
it be
few
anybody
others.
else?
Exactly. But yeah, it's nice to be like, oh, that's so and so, and like I was looking at who's this person. But yeah, hopefully they'll all do well. That's the
Yes.
main thing.
But well, what are you looking forward to in the opening days of the Olympics coming up?
I guess the first day, I always, for some reason, the first day, all I ever remember is like obviously the men's road race and the cycling, and the judo. I always feel like that's on, and obviously there's lots of like first rounds, but I feel like there's medals. The first medal is always in the shooting, isn't it? I think the first medal is always in the pistol shooting.
Yeah.
So I've got my trusty radio time schedule here, which
Oh.
you haven't got this yet. This is well worth buying because it's nicely laid out, and it's so that's your day one schedule right there.
I can read it so well.
Oh, exactly. It's so broken down. So yeah, it's nice to be like, oh, what we're gonna watch, what medals are being won. I think it does actually tell you what medals are won on the first day. So yeah, goals today. They've got the mixed team in the archery. That's at 8:45. UK, this is all BST by the way. I'm going to be reading out. There's fencing, women's epee, men's saber. That's around lunchtime. Yeah, the judo, women's 48 and the men's 60 kilograms. That's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Obviously, the men's road cycle will be wrapping up around nine ish. And then there's the shooting. The 10-meter air rifle is going to be the first gold medal awarded at these games. And there's the men's 10-meter air pistol at 7:30. Taekwondo 49 kilograms and men's 58 kilograms is at about 1:30, and then the women's weightlifting will be the second gold at 4:50 a.m.
Yeah.
in the 49 kilogram category.
Yeah, it'll be an unusual feeling, sort of like, because I'm so used to sort of with the Olympics, first day waking up and watching the swimming, but of course we don't have a swimming session straight away in the morning because of the way it's scheduled around the US times. So it's Tokyo evening is when the qualifying sessions will be. So we have a bit of time to just fill during the day, you know, just do a perusal of the buffet of sports that are on offer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess the swimming starts at 11 o'clock with the heats. That's on until 1:30. So yeah, that'll be something nice to have kind of around lunchtime. I mean, what are you going to watch? Anything tonight? What's on your list of things to watch?
Well, I've seen that we've got some rescheduled rowing repêchages going ahead tonight. I think due to bad weather that's expected over the weekend, they've had to bring them forward to today. So I'll perhaps give them a bit of a watch. I mean, it would definitely be unfortunate for the competitors who are going through the repêchages that they've got to do that, because that's such a tight turnover time. But then those who do get through, maybe they'll have a bit more time to rest before the finals.
Yeah, no, it's been a bit tough. I mean, I watched some of it last night, and it looked like quite a nice venue. The nice bridge shot that they were showing. There were some good performances. I saw a few of the British rowers seem to be doing pretty well. So it's usually been a good stable medal and flow for the British team is the rowing. So and then so much is cracking on tomorrow. So many events going on.
Yeah. And I think it'll be we've got Taekwondo as well tomorrow, don't we?
Yep. Yeah. So that's the finals are going to be at around 11 for the men's 58 kilogram and the women's 49 kilogram.
So yeah, I think I'll definitely try and give that a watch. It's feel that's normally in the middle, and it's something that I sort of lose a bit. So it's nice to be able to watch it a bit earlier on, especially before a lot of the other sports have started.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got loads of other sports going on. Just the whole day. You've got. I've already mentioned the medal events, but you've got the artistic gymnastics. The men's qualification is pretty much all day. You've got the badminton starting with everything basically. 3-on-3 basketball is making its debut at 2:15 a.m. Which I don't know if you haven't watched that sport. I think it's great. I actually prefer it to regular basketball.
It's definitely sort of much more inclusive and allows a lot more countries to participate in it.
And it's just easy to follow, and it's quite simple. There's a shot clock, so they have to shoot after a certain amount of seconds. It's only like a third of a court, so they're not running around too much, and it's a lot closer. It's literally just, the points are just going up and up and up, and it's like, oh, who's going to win? It's a shorter format, and it works very well. Yeah, so that's going to be fun to watch if anyone wants to watch that.
It's one of those sports that sort of first made its sort of Olympic debut at the Youth Olympics. It's something I think they've had since the first ones in 2010, and they liked it so much that they've brought it to the actual Olympics.
Yeah, I saw it at the Asian Games in 2018, and then I saw it again at the World Urban Games in 2019. And it was one of the most popular sports there for both of them, actually. It's because it's just so easy to understand and easy to follow. And then there's also beach volleyball that's underway, preliminary matches of that. Boxing gets underway as well, because obviously it takes them so long to they need to rest a lot between the fights. So they often start early, and then the medals aren't usually until the last weekend. So that's a long one. But yeah, the men's cycling road race, that's the main thing. That starts at 3 a.m. That's probably the big event on day one. Are you looking forward to watching some of that?
I am. I believe I wasn't quite sure, but I believe it's Geraint Thomas who we're being the one that we're focusing on, the ones that the team is built around for Britain.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. I mean, obviously Geraint's been to so many Olympics now. He's pretty much a veteran of the British team. I think this must be his fifth Olympics. He
was certainly in Beijing. Yeah, so Beijing, London, Rio, where he had the crash in the road race, and then Tokyo. But if anybody in the chat, if anyone wants to share what they're looking forward to or their highlights from today's opening ceremony, please feel free to share with us. We'd love to hear from you.
I mean, it is tough for the cyclists having come straight off the Tour de France literally a week ago. So then be doing this, and Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, is the Tour de France winner going to try and do the double? That's they've never won it before, so that'd be quite a nice achievement. I mean, Bradley Wiggins did it, but that was in the time trial, so a little bit different.
Yeah, it's amazing how much that you do need to put your effort towards the Tour de France over the Olympics for the cyclists, or one
Mm.
or the other. You have to choose, and that I think Bradley Wiggins is the only one to have won gold at both. I know that Lance Armstrong, but with all his steroids and assistance that he got there, he only managed a bronze in Sydney. So it
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
tough achievement for sure.
definitely. Other things to look out for. I know you love a bit of equestrian,
I
Alex.
do. We've got the
So
dressage tomorrow.
we do. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning UK time, and it goes on till 2:15. So that's kind of like like their evening time, isn't it? It's not. I thought it was normally a daytime event.
It might be due to the heat as
Right, makes
and
sense.
especially the earlier rounds of the dressage. So this is the bit without music, so it's not really
So
particularly.
it's not horse dancing then, or is
It,
it still horse dancing, or do you need music for it to be
uh, I'd
dancing?
I'd say that's a debate that will go down for the ages. But yeah, it's much more going through the set movements and looking at the execution of them. Um, it will be yeah. It's not something that I'd necessarily recommend to somebody who doesn't know a huge amount about uh, sort of equestrian, but it's still quite interesting that once you get used to it and you start sort of recognizing the movements, and then you think, oh, that one was better than that one, and oh, I'm not sure about that. So it's not as I'd say it's not as difficult to get into as you might think if you give it
Hmm.
the time.
Okay, okay. I mean, I'm not. You haven't quite convinced me there. I'm not
Watch the bit
sure.
with the music.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure I'm going to be watching too much of that. But fencing's always a good thing to watch on day one. I remember the day one of Rio. I think was it when Britain had a chance of a medal.
I
You know,
think
we
it
got to
was day
the
one. I think I was being absolutely obsessed with it for the day, and he
yeah. It was
came
like, oh my god.
fourth.
Yeah, I know. Literally got to the semi-finals, lost. Got to the bronze medal match and lost. It's
Yeah,
like, oh no.
as when he got to the semi-finals, I was thinking, right, he's got a 3 in 4 chance of getting a medal here.
Yes, and obviously it
Sadly
didn't quite
not.
happen. Other things getting underway. Handball getting underway. That's pretty much going to be running again throughout the whole of the fortnight. The football carries on. Women's Britain's team, the Britain's women's football team, are playing Japan, the host, at 11:30.
So that'll be a tough game for both countries, really.
Mm.
I don't think that they
I
would have
think,
wanted to face each other in the group, and actually, I think it's quite a tough group. Britain have played the easier game, but then Canada is the other country they have to face.
which
Who
I think is maybe the tougher one. I feel
potentially,
like
yeah.
Britain is getting harder each round, but
I think it was Canada that
they
knocked.
started well.
Yeah, Canada knocked Britain out in 2012 of the women's tournament.
They did,
So
yes. Yeah, so that's football still going on. So that might be quite nice to watch after the cycling, actually.
yeah, Astrolabe
Just planning
asks
my
in the
day.
chat, which sports, if any, do you think will be most affected by the lack of spectators? I'd say track cycling jumps out at me. It's something
Yeah,
that I feel like that's one of those sports that the crowd just get behind and really push the athletes forward because it is so draining and so fast. But
yeah.
then,
I'd I'd say swimming as well.
yeah,
Swimming is that there's always that atmosphere, and you can hear even though they're often underwater, they often do the whistles and all that kind of stuff to try and get a bit of momentum. And what's going to be interesting is normally, obviously, it's something that the other swimmers are there to watch and support their teammates all the way through, and they're often the ones making the most noise.
mm,
Whereas I don't think they're allowed to do that this time. So
yeah, I think
what
a
we
lot.
kind of saw at the International Swim League last year was that atmosphere because there was no crowd there, but there was still the teams there, and now they made enough noise, but we're going to have any of that.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Um, I mean, I'm curious about athletics because I think, say, in perhaps the distance races, particularly if it ends up being
Yeah.
a sprint finish, that will be a challenge. But I think the shorter sprints, the throws, the jumps, I don't think they'll. Well, maybe the jumps because we won't get that rhythmic clapping moment.
Yeah, that won't be happening. Yeah, I think I agree. I think the distance race is going to suffer more than the sprints. Yeah, it'd be weird when the gun goes off for the men's 100-meter final and it's just like nothing.
Yeah,
But equally, it's over in 10 seconds, so it doesn't matter that much. Whereas if you're watching a 10K and it's just like, how are you going to build that excitement if yeah, that's going to be tough.
but then in sports like archery, the atmosphere will be almost identical.
Yeah, Yeah, that's true. And I suppose I don't know if the rowers really hear the crowd that much anyway. They probably do a little bit, obviously, but
Mm.
there's certain of sports where they're so far away from the crowd anyway. Will it actually make that much of a difference? And even the gymnastics, for example, there you have to be quiet,
Yep.
when they're going. So that's probably going to help them. Um, yeah,
And
I'm
I was
just
also
looking through
going to
some.
say tennis on that front. And also, speaking of tennis, what do you make of Naomi Osaka lighting the cauldron?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking, who is it going to be? I thought I had a hunch they were going to go with a current athlete because it's been a long time since we had a. Since Kathy Freeman was the last one of the active
I think
people.
2004 they might have had a
We, oh yeah, well that was a last minute sub,
swap
wasn't
in
it?
for
Because it was meant to be
Kentorous.
Kentrus. So they were, yeah, but I think it was actually one of their competitors. Yeah, but yeah, I think like this was more like Kathy for me. I think because it was that the face of the games was lighting the cauldron, which was a big deal. And I thought, well, they'll either go with Ushimura in the gymnastics, but because he's competing quite soon, and I just felt like he's not really, he's kind of past it a little bit.
Mm.
Whereas Osaka is like hot right now in terms of like not just sport, in terms of like everything. She's everywhere. She got Netflix documentary out and everything, so
Yeah. And
it's all happening.
given sort of, it feels like a fun sort of middle finger that she's not been had to, she's been forced to withdraw from competitions because she refuses to do all of the press conferences, particularly when she's had quite rude questions. And it feels like a great middle finger from her, like, ha, I'm lighting the Olympic cauldron.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think she kind of had to do it in a way. It was like a yeah, she had to be the one. She's the one everyone's been talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, the tennis obviously does get started at 3 in the morning. That's what I'll probably be watching a lot of alongside the cycling tomorrow. I mean, straight away, Heather Watson's up first at 3 a.m. taking on Annalena Friedsam, who's one of the lower ranked players in the draw. So she's got quite a nice draw there. Andy Murray's playing doubles not long after that. And then there's Jamie and Neil Skopsky are also playing doubles. But there's some other big matches. Novak Djokovic, he's obviously going for the Golden Slam this year, and he hasn't won the Olympics. He got the bronze in 2008, and then was fourth in London. Andy Murray beat him in the semis, and then he lost the bronze medal match to Del Potro, and then Del Potro beat him in the first round in Rio. But he's got Bolivia's Hugo Dellien, which is a rough draw for him because Bolivia only was sending 4 athletes to these Olympics, and then he got this late call up after all the COVID dropouts in the tennis, so he became their 5th athlete. You're like, oh great, he's going to Bolivia. We've got another Olympian, and he must have looked at the draw and thought, damn it, I've got Djokovic. But no, that should be a good one. There's some good matches tomorrow.
Is Nishikori, is he in the draw for the tennis at these
Yeah,
Olympics? So,
yeah. Japan have got a very strong tennis team. I think they've qualified all 4 singles places in the men's side. They've also got a very strong doubles pairing on the women's side, and there's talk of maybe Nishikori and Osaka playing mixed as well, which would be
that would.
because the mixed draw's not happened yet, and that's the one everyone's excited about, alongside the Greeks of Tsitsipas and Sakari. So yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm keen to see the mix. Actually, it's always one of my favorites because you get people who don't normally play with each other that play with each other.
In the chat again, Astrolabes asking, in the athletics and in any other sports, who do you think are the biggest certainties to win a gold medal? I think Rojas in the triple jump, given that she's competed since I last looked at her World Athletics profile. She's been over 15 meters in every triple jump meeting of this year. And, she also set a Venezuelan record in the long jump and had that windy +7 meters jump there. So I think it'll be really difficult to beat her.
I'm going to say Ryan Krauser. I think he's probably the best. Though, yeah, Krauser and Rojas in athletics are probably the 2 most nailed on gold medals. And I guess in other sports, I mean, you have to look at PT in the swimming for being a cert. I guess swimming is tough because there's obviously a lot of people who are definitely going to win lots of gold medals, like Caleb Dressel and Katie Ledecky, and quite a few others. But we still need to do it.
And
So let's get it done.
it seems to happen at the Olympics that we see lots of swimmers who just sort of appear from not nowhere, but it's that moment that they suddenly just spring onto the world stage. And I think that'll perhaps be even more noticeable this year, where with people who wouldn't have been so favoured in like who you wouldn't consider to be so favoured, but as they've not been able to compete much, we don't know much about them, but actually could be in excellent form.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there's always a few that have. It's same in athletics. There's always a few that come out in Olympic year and surprise, and
Like the
take a few.
Kenyan 400 hurdlers in 2015.
Exactly.
Just like, wait, not only are they doing that, there's two of them?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot to look forward to on day one. I said I've already mentioned the judo and the rowing, and there's hockey getting started. Softball's carrying on as well. Table tennis is getting started. A few Brits are playing tomorrow in the early hours. That starts at 1 a.m. and goes right the way through till 2:30 in the afternoon. Yes, we've mentioned the taekwondo. There's also volleyball, water polo, and weightlifting. So, it's just going to be great. And it's all obviously on Eurosport in the UK for all of the streams. If you want to watch anything, you should be able to. I think they've even got a specific feeds for certain fencing pieces. So if you want to watch a specific fencing bout, you can.
I think these will be they were saying on the coverage, the made for television Olympics, so it's about right too as well.
Yes, yeah, no, it'll definitely be one to enjoy. Whereas the BBC are only just going to be showing kind of the best of it, I suppose, on the main channel, and then the Red Button will have a few streams on it. I think, according to the Radio Times here, the Red Button will mainly be showing rowing and gymnastics up until I think the cycling's mostly going to be on BBC One, but it looks like it'll be rowing gymnastics for most of the time in the overnight. So, whereas I'll be watching the tennis probably on Eurosport, I think.
I was watching the rowing on Eurosport last night mainly because the Red Button wasn't in HD, and I was very impressed with their coverage. I thought it was a very good, accessible sort of way of presenting it. That it was, I'm no expert when it comes to rowing, but I felt like I was getting some really good insights from the commentators without it being sort of going over my head or it being too condescending. They found that really good point.
Yeah, see, I watched it on BBC even though it wasn't HD, just because it was earlier, because I'd be delayed on Eurosport. That's what was annoying me. That's the thing is, hopefully there won't be too much of a delay on these streaming platforms. But lots to get stuck into on the first day.
Yeah, so it's very exciting, and I suppose I'm not fully on Tokyo time yet. I probably should be getting to sleep soon.
Yeah, I think I stayed up late last night to watch the rowing to try and then make myself tired. So I'm very tired today. In the hope that I can go to sleep around 8-ish, maybe. I don't know.
Well, you were also editing your podcast, which...
I was. Can we share that in the chat? How does that work?
If I remember, I think the code was moments. Let's give it a go. Hey, there we are. Okay,
there we go.
The tag is wrong, but that will take you to the podcast.
That'll take you to the Chris Brown episode.
But yeah, you'll go to that website and then find the one Chris invited me on as a guest. He wasn't interested in my defining moments, but
No.
But we had a good fun talking about Olympics of bygone years.
Yes, we did. We had a very good time chatting a lot about everything from Barcelona up until present day. And it's nice. I think it certainly got me excited for the Olympics. Anyway,
Definitely, yeah, me as well.
And there was a few other guests dropping in with their favourite Olympic moments as well, which was nice. A lot of people I've spoken to over the last year. So it's exciting that it's going to be here. And I think what I love about the first day is that because it's the first day and you're so excited and you've been waiting for so long, you just watch anything. I always feel like I watch more on the first day sometimes.
Yeah, when you watch the sport that you haven't seen since the last Olympics, but for the next few hours you are the world's #1 expert in it, and you'll refuse to hear anything else.
That'll be me on fencing, I think. Fencing's the one I haven't watched since Rio, so yeah, it'll be exciting. And I guess then once the swimming starts and a few other events to crack it, there's more medals obviously on day 2. We get a bit of skateboarding, diving starts, and obviously the swimming medals are happening. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
Oh. Well, I suppose.
I mean, what's Britain's first medal going to be? That's my question to you.
Oh, so maybe the road race, though I'm not.
We say this every Olympics, don't we? It might be in the road race, and it never actually is, unfortunately.
But yeah. At the same time, I mean, don't know. I don't follow road cycling massively closely, and I don't know what sort of form Thomas is in, and I don't know for whom the course is beneficial.
Yeah,
So, other than that, I think it probably Petey. He'll probably be in the next few
yeah.
days, won't he?
I'll just have a look at the finals in the swimming because I'll see if we're going to get any medals in these. Men's 400 IM is the first final, and that was the first final in Rio. And I remember Max Litchfield finishing fourth. So I think he's probably on schedule for a repeat performance. Hopefully, he can
Ah,
get into the medals. He's going to be in the mix. Um, and then the men's four freestyle. Again, to be honest, the British swim team at the moment we're in that position where we've got our Peters and our Duncan Scotts who are going to be bringing home medals, but then we've got a whole host of others who are ranked kind of from third to fifth or third to sixth, and there's so many like Tom Dean and people like that who are going to be in that area. Amy Wilmot again in the 400 IM final, obviously assuming they'll make the finals, and then the women's 4x1 freestyle. That might be our first medal actually on day one. That's the one. I think that'll be us and maybe Australia fighting for bronze there. I don't know, but we'll. That could be it. That could be our first medal.
what strange times we live in that we look at a swimming relay and think, yeah, we've got a good chance there.
Well, we qualify. It's the first time we've ever qualified every single relay at the Olympics, and we didn't even choose to send the women's 4x2. We've left them at home. We didn't send them, which I don't agree with because they were European champions this year.
Yeah, that
We,
doesn't make sense to me, but such
but I
as
think
British selectors.
exactly. I think because of the schedule, we would have it would have affected more than it was worth. I think.
Ah,
Then they
okay.
probably thought we're not going to win a medal in it, and we have to pull. Other people would have had other events on that day when there were the heats and the stuff, so we wouldn't have actually had enough people to do it without them doubling up in a certain session. So I can understand why, but there's a lot of young people who are not going to be in the team who are in that relay. So yeah, I'm maybe going to go with that as our first medal. I don't think. I don't know if any of our judokas or taekwondo people are going to be in with a shot on the first day.
I find with those sports it's really hard to know because you can have people who you think are a solid chance and then end up losing their first match.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I don't know which. Let's have a look at the schedule. I don't think there's many Brits on the first day. I should really know who's on the first day in terms of medal finals. Yeah, we've got Jay Jones, I think, on the Sunday as well in the taekwondo.
So yeah, I saw when I was in Cardiff the other week. I saw a wonderful thing at the up by the BBC Wales building, which had a like "Come on Jade" or something in Welsh with her. So I thought that was a very nice touch they had there.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that the first few days go well. I think there's been a lot of nerves and negativity about these games, but I think once we're well into the action, it'll be
Yeah,
forgotten. I think by Monday, I think we'll have forgotten about the lack of crowds. We'll have forgotten about everything, and it'll just be business as usual.
yeah, close to it.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited. It's here, and it seems, in terms of the sporting point of view, it seems very excited and relatively unaffected.
Yeah. Um, of course, we've had sort of competitors like Amber Hill, who was solid medal chance in the shooting, who sadly won't be there because she caught COVID.
Yeah,
Um, and there's a few
yeah,
other cases like that, and I'm sure we will hear of a few more in the coming weeks.
yeah, definitely. I think in terms of the British team, we had Joe Contra and Dan Evans in the tennis team getting losing their spots because of COVID positives. And then yeah, I think Amber was the biggest one because that was a definite medal chance and maybe even a gold that has been lost there, which is a real shame. But every team's going to have something like that, so
Yeah,
we'll see. Just hopefully there won't be many more, and now they're all there, and or most of them are there. Hopefully it'll be well contained and well managed.
and yeah, I mean, most of them seemed pretty good at wearing their masks in the opening ceremony. So a few chin ones going around the chin.
Yeah, yeah. But no, it's going to be good, and I guess we're going to be twitching quite a lot, aren't we, over the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think the plan is that we'll probably be streaming probably at least every afternoon, or well, afternoon UK time, evening for Tokyo, morning if you're in the USA.
Yeah, I think most things finish say around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so we'll probably be on around then, maybe half 2, 3 o'clock.
Yeah, and then we'll probably be streaming a bit more once the athletics starts, and we'll be discussing probably after the morning sessions, discussing what's going to happen, as that's our sort of common forte, I'd say.
Yes, that's where most of our knowledge is. Although I think we've done quite well already, just talking about all the sports.
If you may say so yourself.
No, I think we have. You've told me things about dressage that I didn't know about, so
true.
that's something.
But yeah, it's been fun talking to you, and it's been fun having people in the chat joining us. So,
Yes.
So yeah, thanks for joining us. I guess we'll wrap it up there, and hopefully join us tomorrow to discuss some actual Olympic sporting action.
Yeah, it's great. We should probably get to bed ready, shouldn't we?
Probably should.
Yeah, I hope to get up around. I might get up to around 3 o'clock for the start of the cycling and the tennis. That'll be enough for me, I think.
Oh, I still haven't worked out my plans yet, but I'm gonna work it out because my sleeping pattern's already just all over the place. It's not Tokyo time, it's not British time, it's just
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks everyone.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, and yeah, see you all tomorrow. Bye.